questions you may have about how we are attempting to work with park management to get these problems solved without adversely impacting residents.
You can go to the next slide. It's okay.
So the first slide provides examples of the different categories of violations. And I thought it would be helpful to just go over this once more so everyone is clear. Category 1 violations in the county's view present a significant threat to the health and safety of the residents at the park. For that reason, we established a 30-day deadline to address them. And in the next slide, I'll talk about next steps that would be taken if you have not met that 30-day time frame. The category 2 and 3 corrections are corrections that need to be addressed to achieve compliance with the relevant rules and regulations. However, they do not present as an immediate threat to the park residents' health and safety. And for that reason, we are providing more time to address them. And we understand that we will need some cooperation and collaboration from the park management. So these corrections can be done over time in a manner that avoids the displacement of the existing residents. Okay, so this slide shows what happened in June, what will happen this month, and what we expect to occur during the month of August. During the month of June, the inspectors from the county visited the park to check on the status of corrections with focus on the category 1 corrections that are needed. And our building official, Fred, is going to provide you with a summary of what those inspectors have found. Fred?
Good evening. Last month, my staff, in conjunction with the environmental health staff, made inspections over a couple of weeks to see, check on the progress and how the park was doing residents with category 1 repairs. Propane tank strapping on unsecured propane tanks, getting them strapped and stored flammable liquids underneath the units. Those are some bright spots, better than 50% compliance. However, several other category 1 issues, blocked stairs, egress paths, leaking sewer lines, non-approved gas piping, those kinds of things. We still have some work to do. So we'll be coming back in the next few weeks to see if we've made any progress on those. And hopefully we'll have a little bit better picture.
So as you heard, we've made some good progress in some areas, but the county is concerned that there is a lack of progress with situations that are truly a risk to your health and safety. And for that reason, and given the amount of time that has passed, we intend to come back to the park during the week of July 25th and to check on all sites that have category 1 violations that have not been addressed. If we conclude that no effort has been made, that no application for assistance has been filed, then we will be in a position where we must move to an enforcement stage, which is a stage we hope to avoid. So our hope is that you will take the risk to your health and safety seriously and take care of these significant risks before the county is out there during the week of July 25th. If you are incapable of completing the category 1 repairs, it's imperative that you contact Nyla's team in housing should you need financial assistance. If there is another reason outside of your control that you cannot complete those repairs, please contact my department and I will provide a number for that at the end of the presentation. It's the same number that was provided previously. For those of you who have used that number, have spoken with my assistant, Janet, and she is available to speak with you and take notes about any reason you are unable to complete your repairs. However, given the time that has passed and the significance of the risk, we have limited ability to provide additional extensions. It will be important that you demonstrate you have done everything within your means to address category 1 violations. Moving on to August. Towards the end of August, we will begin our inspections of the category 2 and 3 violations. We intend to follow the same procedures that were used for the category 1 inspection, which many of you may know include a sign-up program website where you can select a time where you will be on site. So if you would like to speak with the inspector who will be coming to do those inspections, you will have an opportunity to do so. So I know from the petition we received that with regard to the category 2 and 3 violations, that air conditioners and setbacks are some of the residents' greatest concerns. In our program of working together with Rebuilding Together, we will be identifying alternatives that can be used by residents. We do not expect you to live in a trailer that does not have adequate cooling. We want to work with you to make those repairs in a timely fashion that meets your needs and does not threaten your health and safety. With regard to setbacks, we are aware that many of the units on the site are physically incapable of being moved. But we also know that there are many trailers that can be. We have a permitting program that the park management must comply with every time a trailer is moved or a new trailer is brought on site. We have said to park management that when a space becomes vacated, the first priority for filling that space shall be to allow tenants whose trailers can be moved to move into a site where there is adequate space. If your trailer cannot be moved for physical reasons, because if it's financial reasons, we will be working with the Department of Housing to make the financial assistance available usable to move the trailer if it can be. But if it can't, our expectation is of park management that once the trailer adjacent to the one that can't be moved moves out, any new trailer to be moved into that space must be adequately set back from the existing unmovable trailer, irrespective of lot lines. That places the responsibility for addressing setback requirements for immovable trailers on the park management and the new tenants who move in, who will need to comply with setback requirements. With that, I believe I'm ready to turn it over to Nyla to provide an update on the program that we are working to establish with Rebuilding Together.
Hello, my name is Nyla Kim. I work with the department and run the repair program for so again, Nyla Kim with the Department of Housing. I run the repair program. We are working with Rebuilding Together to basically provide home repair services to those who received a correction notice by the county. And these are for folks who need financial assistance to help with repairs. Okay. Because we want to make sure your house is safe. So if you can't afford it, we have a program that will help you. So I will walk through the process for you to apply for the program. We have an application, and it's available in English and in Spanish, and we have it at the front desk here. So please, at the end of the meeting, please come by and pick one up. If you have questions, I'll be here along with Rebuilding Together to answer your questions. I also have my colleague Yesenia, who also speaks Spanish. So if you need help with interpretation, she's here to help us out. The application is very simple, just leave your information. We want to make sure that these are again for folks who can't afford it, so you have to provide required documents such as a tax return, and we also want to make sure that you live there. So any kind of documentation of lease agreement that has your name and the address of your house. But the program provides for up to $3,000 for repairs. And once you submit your application and determine your eligibility, I will then work with the planning department to get any additional comments on your repair that's needed. That information I will then provide to Rebuilding Together. At that point, Rebuilding Together will then give you a call, I'll introduce you, they'll give you a call, we actually go down, meet you at their facility at your house and walk with you through the program and discuss the repair program. I brought Rebuilding Together is here, so Greg and Shonda, we're at one of them will be calling you once I get your application. Review it. Once I get it, I'll provide to them And they will give you a call and they'll show you how to your house and talk with you and walk through the regular program. All right. Okay. And so I just want to let you know, they can't prepare everything, but they will basically prioritize on any item that's on the application. And they'll do everything they can, they'll take out this. So, and everyone's case is different, so that's why I want you to rebuild together, so you'll walk through, and then we can figure out what we can fix and what we can't fix. And the things that we can't fix that are on our application, we'll talk with the planning firm and figure out from there. So again, it's all individual case by case, so we want to make sure that we talk with them better, so we can figure out what we can fix and what we can't fix, and work it from there. So again, the applications will be up in front. Please fill it out. Please be patient. I have to review them. So once I review them, we can read them together. They'll set up the appointment with you. Again, I will still be here, along with the together, and my colleague is in there. And so please, if you need the help, we're here to help you. We can help you all through the application, but please grab the application. My phone number and my emails is on the application. And you can call me, talk to me, email me, and I'll help you answer your questions. And so again, please don't be shy. Don't fight. I'll try to help you as much as I can. And that was it.
Hey, Steve, we can't hear you on Zoom. The mic is muted. There you go.
All right, the difficulty has solved. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. So I summed up some of the key points regarding the correction notices that have been issued to park management. We attached copies of the letters we have sent to park management to our reply to the petition we received. I hope you all have had an opportunity to look at that, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about our response to the petition or about our correspondence with park management. Some of the key items that we are still working to resolve with park management include the issuance of warning letters by the park. We have been informed that park management has issued residents warning notices. Those have been done by the park management independently of the county. We have requested that they stop doing that so that we can work with you to make these corrections happen in using the approach and time frame that we have been seeing with you about. The second thing that we have asked Park to do, which remains outstanding part of management, is we understand that there are problems with the park infrastructure. We have told the park management that expect a full and complete assessment of park infrastructure, electrical, sewer, stormwater, electrical things, right? We understand that the park has started making some repairs. Our concern is we have not received the comprehensive assessment that we requested. We want to make sure that the repairs that are being done are done adequately and thoroughly, so we can be assured that the infrastructure will be able to effectively support the residents. To ensure that park management complies with our request to address setback problems and units that are no longer mobile in a way that does not displace the residents, we have asked them to join into an agreement with the county so that we can be assured that they will not take any action that would impact the residents in a manner that is not consistent with the approach for solving the problems that we have identified. We will continue our efforts to do that, but it is important for the tenants to understand that the relationship between a tenant and a landlord is in many ways a private one. And as a tenant, you have obligations to comply with park management rules. We will do our best to work with park management to carry out these corrections so that impacts to you are minimized. However, we do not have control over any park management actions that may be taken to address non-compliance with park rules. So we encourage you to get in compliance, and if you need assistance from the county, please contact us. And with that, I think we're ready to open it up for questions.
¿Puede hablar acá frente? Can you speak up here?
No, I was just gonna give them.
Oh, okay, whoever's gonna speak, you could come up here so they could hear you on Zoom. Right close to here, they can hear you better. All you have to do is put your back. You can turn around. You get closer.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. How are you? Good evening. My name is Bianca. I am one of the members of the Sequoia Trailer Park Association. We are neighbors that are worried about this problematic situation that we are living at Sequoia Trailer Park. And for this reason is that we have came together as an association to work and try to solve these things that the violations and to ask for the county's collaboration.
Puede limar aquí las hojitas.
Buenas tardes a todos, mi nombre es María Elena.
Se puede poner más cerca. Más de eso. Para eso.
Quiero darles un resumen de 3 peticiones importantes. Les estamos haciendo como asociación. Número 1, necesitamos un proceso claro para que se cancelen las infracciones cuando las correcciones no sean posibles, necesarias o seguras. Número 2, necesitamos una garantía que el programa de asistencia financiera o reparaciones se lleve a cabo y resuelva las infracciones. Número 3, necesitamos un camino claro de colaboración con ustedes como condado para asegurar que la lista de correcciones que Evans Management es responsable, que arreglen incluso las fugas de alcantarillado, inundaciones, pavimento, drenaje y sistema eléctrico. Muchísimas gracias.
Good evening, my name is Maria Lema. I want to give you a summary of the petition that we are asking as requesting as an association. We need a clear process for the forgiveness of the violations whenever the corrections are not possible, needed, or safe. We need a guarantee that the program of financial assistance for repairs can take place and resolve completely the violations. We also need a clear path of collaboration with you as a county to make sure that the list of corrections that Evans Management is responsible for gets fixed, including the sewer leaks, the flooding, the pavement issues, the drainage, and the electrical system.
Puede permitir,
Sí.
aquí se me pase. Puede hablar para allá.
Sí, buenas tardes, mi nombre es Juan Carlos Barajas, soy un residente de Sequoia, he vivido por más de 20 años en el parqueadero. Sí.
Hello, my name is Juan Carlos Barajas, and I'm also a member of the.
Hay que usar el mic para que pueda ir online. Eso tiene que hacer los dos así, se juntas.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Juan Carlos Barajas, and I'm also a member of the community of the association for the Sequoia Trailer Park.
Nosotros, yo tengo mi trailer park ahí viviendo más de 20 años.
I've been living in the trailer park for more than 20 years.
Ahorita se me hace imposible mover mi trailer, los 3 pies que está exigiendo el condado.
Right now, it is impossible for me to move the trailer for the 3 feet that is being required by the county.
El problema es que hay muchas trailers que tienen muchos años ahí y hay muchas personas que tenemos muchos años viviendo ahí y es imposible mover los trailers porque ya están algo viejos.
The thing is that there are trailers that have been there for a long time. There are residents that have been in that place for a long time, and it becomes impossible for the trailers to be moved because they are way too old.
Hay muchos trailers que tenemos techos para la sombra que están permitidos de metal por el parqueadero y hay otras que tenemos adiciones.
There are some trailers that have leaf, yeah, they have some additions to the trailers that are impossible to change.
Sería muy costoso para nosotros tratar de tumbar lo que ya tenemos ahí construido, tratar de quitar las cosas que tenemos porque no tenemos los recursos, principalmente por el dinero, que es lo económico.
It would be very difficult for us to change what we have already there, to move that, and mainly the reason is a financial reason.
Es una cosa estresante el saber que ahorita nos están exigiendo mover los trailers, quitar adiciones, quitar techos que ya tenemos por años.
It is very stressing that we are being requested to move trailers, to take out additions that we have had there for years. It is very stressful.
Hemos tenido otras inspecciones anteriormente, años atrás, y nunca nos habían exigido el movimiento de los trailers.
We've had inspections previously, and we have never been requested to move the trailers.
Entonces ahora es muy sorprendente para nosotros que el condado nos esté exigiendo o mandándonos esas infracciones sobre mover los trailers.
So it was very surprising to us that the county is requesting us to move the trailers or to do the changes.
Entonces necesitaríamos crear un programa donde puedan perdonar las infracciones de los trailers que no se puedan mover o no puedan quitar las adiciones.
So there should be a program where these violations of not being able to move the trailers or to take out the additions can be forgiven.
Cuando las correcciones no se pueden, cuando las correcciones no pueden ser corregidas.
Whenever these corrections cannot be done.
Muchas gracias y espero trabajar juntos con el condado y nosotros como residentes en Sequoia Trailer Park.
Thank you very much, and we hope to work together with the county along with Sequoia Trailer Park.
Able to set up and I can go over there.
Our Zoom people won't be able to hear you. So we have residents on the phone. And so it's important that we give everybody equal access. Sophia, I would ask that if you could come closer
Can
here.
you provide me a table?
Yeah, there's a table right here. We can make room for you.
I know, that's the hard part. Okay, ready? Okay, here you go. Hi, guys. So a lot of you know me. My name is Mary Whitney, and I'm your neighbors at Sequoia. We're all a part of Sequoia Association, and people from the Zoom, hello. I've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of you. I've had a lot of communication with Mila, Janet, and Maggie from Warren Slocum's office. Okay, so I'm going to go over a couple of things. First of all, this is my first correction notice when the county first started coming out to the park. Okay, at our last county meeting, we got our inspection report. Then we started getting violations from the Sequoia Trailer Park and its management. I made Mila, Janet, and Maggie from Warren Slocum's office aware of this, of the confusion of what's going on in Sequoia Trailer Park. And it was really important for us to have this communication so we knew how to handle these violations. We were given the Sequoia Trailer Park repair program. A lot of us have already applied for this. I turned in my application for the Sequoia Trailer Park repair program on April 28th. The last update I received from Mila in regards to my personal application was June 6th. Her introducing myself to Greg and Shauna via email, who work for Rebuilding Together Peninsula RTP. In your response to our petition, you said that RTP is working closely with us to schedule one-on-one consultations.
For those of you on Zoom, that flash alarm going off here in the room, so we're trying to figure out what's going on. And then you can
Say the word.
Okay, so let me, in response to our petition, you said that RTP, that's the Rebuilding Together Peninsula, I'm abbreviating, is working closely with us to schedule one-on-one consultations. But this is not true. None of us have been contacted by Greg or Shauna. I have not yet received a response to this date or had any correspondence with RTP to know how my violations will be addressed and fixed. We are doing the work of applying and seeing no results in a timely manner. I dedicated my time, my personal time, helping my neighbors to get these applications in who don't have the resources. We already have the stress of the inspectors coming and knocking on our doors for phase 1 inspections. But we haven't even heard about the resources. This hasn't been working, like you say, it has been working. We are constantly getting these on our doors for re-inspections. We also have inspectors knocking on our doors. An inspector came and knocked on my door and asked why I hadn't scheduled my appointment for phase 1. I said, why would I make an appointment if we currently haven't received the resources to address our violations in the first place? It's like, are you not coordinating with each other? It's a waste of time for the inspectors to come out to the park when you haven't given us the resources to fix the problem. It also doesn't make sense to have a cap of $3,000. These are decades of issues that have been piled up because you haven't been enforcing these codes before. How do we know what will be covered by the program and what will not? What about fire-resistant storages and tarps? My understanding from your response to our petition is that you cannot guarantee that we are going to be able to utilize this program. Is this going to happen or not? Can you guarantee that you will be providing the resources for these expensive repairs and that it would take care of the problem? Yes or no? Unfortunately, we only got this last night from you guys. But something that really caught my eye was the county's response to the petition from Sequoia Trailer Park residents from Justin Mates. In the part 2, the exclusion of assistance repair program in a manner that fully resolves the violation for which assistance is being provided, and county provision of fire-resistant storage containers. It says, residents should know that depending on the nature of the items on the violation notification, RTP may not be able to correct all listed violations. With respect to fire-safe storage units, residents who qualify for assistance can have the cost of acquiring a compliant fire-resistant storage box cover as a part of the repair plan with RTP. But then when I go to the action required to address code violations at Sequoia Park from
Steve Monovitz. Under page 2, it says require management actions. And one of these actions are for Evans Management to offer to provide each unit with a fireproof storage box, either at no cost or with a 5-year no interest loan. That is a problem. When we moved into this park, management told us what storage units we could and could not have. When I moved into the park, I had a different storage unit. And management came and cussed at me and yelled at me and said I can get the F out if I didn't get rid of that storage unit. So I said to them, here's my debit card. You tell me what storage unit I can have, and you order it. And that's what happened. Then when I found someone to hire to put in my storage unit, management came out, told them where to put that storage unit, and that's where my storage unit has been. So I want to know, where's the county's accountability? If you guys are doing these code violations, it's supposed to be coming out to the park every 3 years. I've been at the park for 3 years. We have residents who have been here 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 35 years. You guys are coming out there. We understand. You made this comment. Risk of your health and safety. You think we don't know that? We live there. These are our homes. If we don't have peace at home, where do we find our peace? You guys need to understand. We need a clear understanding of what's going to happen. We've done the work. We need you guys to do the work. Okay? From what I've read, the response that you've gotten from Evans Management, you guys are code enforcement. Okay? You have authority. We don't. We're residents. We pay our rent. Evans Management is not going to listen to our needs. If they're not listening to you guys, what makes you think that they're going to listen to us? So you guys need to take accountability for all these issues that we're having and give us the resources needed to get these problems resolved. Because we're here. Okay, this is Sequoia Park Association. Every single person here lives in Sequoia Trailer Park. So we're listening. Now we're waiting for you guys to work with us to make our living better and safe, working together, not against each other. Thank you.
Deanna, I can't see what's going on, but can we respond to that, to the comments that just made?
Buenas tardes, personas aquí presentes, mucho respeto. Mi nombre es Johnny Dávila. Tengo viviendo en el parqueo por 21 años. He vivido en 2 espacios diferentes y pues, a sufrir lo que todos ellos han pasado. Y voy a decir lo que creemos que los mayores riesgos para nuestra salud y seguridad son las fugas. Okay.
Hello, good evening. My name is Johnny Davila, and I'm going to talk about my testimony.
¿Sigo?
We believe in the major risk for our health and safety for different drainage and the sewer.
El riesgo de incendios que presentan el sistema eléctrico y las inundaciones.
And also about the risk, about fires, the electric system, and the flooding.
Viviendo en el parque, tuve unas experiencias con las pipas de drenaje que no tienen presión.
So living in the park, I have an experience about the sewer, the draining that doesn't have enough pressure.
Causando que de las tres veces que se destaparon las pipas y inundándome mis espacios de excremento, orines, todo lo malo que puede haber en los drenajes.
So those pipes busted, and all the dirty water, excrement, and all you can imagine got flooded inside.
Y eso es lo que está pasando, pues que cualquiera se puede enfermar y también pues hacer daño, puede hasta una persona perder la vida con un estómago, otras enfermedades.
And there are different health risks associated with that problem, infections and other things that can come up with that problem.
Queremos colaborar con ustedes para asegurar que Evans Management haga sus correcciones y por eso queremos saber cómo podemos nosotros colaborar con ustedes, el condado.
We want to collaborate with you guys just to make sure that Evans Management take care of these corrections. That's why we want to know how we can collaborate as well.
Muchas gracias y feliz tarde, feliz noche para todos.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
I'm sorry, I'm not there. It would be a little bit more efficient if we could respond to each question, or is there a series of questions?
Thank you, Justin. Justin has suggested that between each speaker, the county do its best to respond to comments being made. So we'll try and follow that format if that's okay with you. And let me take my notes here because I've been been tracking your comments and listening for questions. And I think we have a commenter who expressed the problems about moving trailers, the ones that have been there for a long time, ones that have additions on them. And I hope you heard in my presentation that the county does not intend to make trailers that cannot be physically moved, okay? We are trying to address that by making sure when your neighbors move out, before somebody moves in, they're adequately set back. Now, I also understand you might be getting different and conflicting information from park management. And we're doing our best to prevent that from happening. But it's not entirely within our control. We will continue to try and convince park management that they should allow us to continue to work with you so that we can fix these problems in the way I've described, without threats of eviction by the park manager. To Mary's point about the assistance, I know it's taken longer than any of us would have liked to get this program established. Rebuilding Together has been working diligently with the county to get the staff together, formulate a program. And it hasn't been easy, but it should not in any way indicate that the county does not desire to provide you with the assistance that you need. And for those of you who have diligently pursued that assistance, but have been unable to get that yet, we will take that into consideration as we move forward. I believe our last speaker was raising a lot of concerns about the infrastructure of the park. And again, I hope you heard in my presentation, our expectation that park management will do a comprehensive fix to the problems that occur in the infrastructure that is their responsibility. With regard to what's happened in the past, we do have environmental health here who they inspect sewer systems and so forth. I don't think any of us can say what happened many, many years ago or why these things weren't tagged. The fact that they exist now, these problems exist now, is what we're focusing on, and we want to fix them in a collaborative manner with you and hopefully with the park management. So I hope I've responded to the comments so far, and I'll turn it back to you, Spencer.
Thank you. I have one simple question. What if Evans Management decides that the fix it, the park, to bring the park up to code is not, it's too expensive? Then what happens?
I understand the question. It was what if parks management determines that the eviction process is—
No, to bring the park up to code, fixing the things that they need to address.
So if they don't comply with the directives.
The infrastructure,
Yeah, well, as Mary pointed out, we have a code enforcement division. We've got an excellent Department of County attorney, and we will do what's necessary and within our means to hold the park accountable.
What happens to us in the meantime?
Yes, we will do our best to try and avoid actions by park management that will result in your eviction. However, as I said earlier, the tenant-landlord relationship is a private one. And the tenants have rights as do property owners. And I'm not the expert in those relationships. And if you feel that you have been mistreated by park management in a way that should be considered, I would recommend that you contact legal aid. I think legal aid would be happy to hear from you, and we'll be happy to collaborate with them to try and figure out appropriate solutions.
That really wasn't my question. I was asking about, my question was this infrastructure, the sewage, the pavement, the lines, the resurvey in the park. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done in that park to bring it up to code. What if Evans Management decides this is just too expensive, we can't do this, we need to just unload this? Then what happens to all of us that live there?
So should Evans Management fail to take the actions that we believe are necessary to comply with the rules and regulations, then we will take code enforcement action to try to compel them to make the necessary corrections. In our efforts to hold them responsible for the necessary corrections, I don't see how that would have a direct impact on the residents, other than you guys will continue to suffer with poor infrastructure until we can compel them to do that. But their failure to address the infrastructure is not the basis for the county to take enforcement action against the tenants.
Right. But I mean, the park's not going to be red tagged or anything like that.
No, it's not our intention to red tag the park.
Yeah.
No, sir. Are there other questions or comments?
Steve,
Uh,
sorry.
Before we go to the next speaker, our deputy county manager would like to say something.
Just a quick comment in response to some of the concerns raised by, I believe her name is Mary, the commenter, a couple of comments ago. We understand that some of these repairs may be outside the control or outside the financial means of some residents. And our intent is not to displace or otherwise, enforce against folks who are actively correcting what they can correct. The reason the first round of inspections happened, even though we were aware that Rebuilding Together had not yet been able to start implementing repair plans, is because many of the category 1 issues, those issues that we believe pose the most immediate risks to health and safety, did not, we believe, required the assistance of a contractor or a plumber or other professionals, and many could be done by residents directly. That is, it was important for safety reasons that you all do what you could do as soon as you could to help improve the safety of your units and the park as a whole. But for those items that you cannot fix on your own and that you may be unable to retain the professionals needed to correct, our goal is to work with you on a plan to get those corrected. Rebuilding Together has partnered with the county to assist. We believe they can assist with many of the items needed for correction. And that with that assistance that we estimate at around $3,000 available per resident, you can comply with many of the corrections needed. But we recognize and acknowledge that there may be things that Rebuilding Together, for whatever reason, might not be able to repair, whether it's because of the particular circumstances of your unit or because of a capacity restraint with Rebuilding Together. Under those circumstances, we will still work with you on a plan to get your unit into compliance. Our goal is not to enforce against all of the residents as soon as possible. If you're trying your best and despite your best efforts, it can't be done, we're not going to start fining you. We do want to work with you, understanding the limitations historically, physically, financially that may exist. Our goal is to work with you. I can appreciate that it is very concerning and stressing, and several commentators noted that. I can only imagine, I don't live in the park, but I can imagine that it's these are very concerning things going on. We want to restore your park to safety and health as best we can. And our goal is not to heighten any unnecessary concerns or stress. And so we have tried to provide supports and provide information to the extent that it's not clear, to the extent that the resources we provided are insufficient. We ask that you reach out to us. You're expressing that now, and we appreciate that, and we're taking notes on that. If there's particular circumstances for your unit, because we appreciate not all units are the same, and many of you have already implemented many of the corrections. Some may not be able to despite their best efforts. Not everybody's in the same situation, but if you have these concerns that are particular to your unit, we also ask that you reach out to us. Again, our goal is to work with you on your specific unit issues. We are also working with park management on the issues facing the park in its entirety and the responsibilities they have. But our goal in all of this is to help restore the safety of your units and of the park. And our goal is not to enforce as soon as we can. Our enforcement is our last option if we have folks who simply aren't implementing corrections. But if you're trying and you are working with Rebuilding Together, or you have retained somebody, but they can't schedule a repair yet, if you've got particular circumstances, let us know, because our inspectors will work with you on those.
We have a gentleman here who would like to speak.
Hi, my name is Frank. I've been in the trailer park for 20 years. I've talked to management about the flooding problem that I have at my driveway. I have to wade through 4 inches of water to get to my front door. I've submitted receipts for the materials to install a sump pump in my driveway. Okay, they violated me for the wires coming out of my driveway ground, and saying it's unsafe to have that sump pump in there. Okay, I find it helping me to keep my driveway clear of the water. So I installed it with money I don't have, so I can safely get into my trailer. Therefore, I talked to management several times over the last year, and they have nothing. I submitted receipts to them for the materials to put this home in. I have not heard from Adam Evans. I haven't heard from anyone. So what do we do? What do we do? Management will not take my calls. They will not return my calls. So I just keep my mouth shut because I don't know what to do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With regard to any correction that was noted about the sump pump, I was just consulting with the building official, and generally there's a safe way to install those. If there's a problem with the way in which that sump pump was installed that needs to be corrected, we'll be happy to work with you to identify what those steps are. And if you need assistance paying for those repairs to the sump pump, we can work with NIDA to help you out there. Other questions or comments? We have somebody on Zoom. Welcome to the caller. Oh, please remember to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me okay? I cannot hear you any longer. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm in one of these problems with no solution. I'm in a unit that's too large for the square footage. It takes up too much of the space. And I'm being told by the inspector that I need to put a landing at my door, which of course then would prevent me from parking my car, or at least I could park the car, I just couldn't get in and out of it. Am I to be denied a parking place in order to follow the regulation design for a landing and a stairway to enter and exit my unit? I do it very capably right now with just a stairway. But if I were to put a landing on there and follow the size recommendations of the, I'm not sure you're calling these code, because I know you're not following Title 25 of the state of California. So I'm not sure that you can actually call these code, but I think you're calling them regulations. Am I going to lose my parking place? You know, it's one of those situations design-wise that doesn't have a great solution. What happens there? Do I get call Mr. Lustenberger and get him to come out, or do I go to the environmental department? I mean, this is kind of how many balls do I get to juggle in trying to make sure that I can still get in and out of my place and park what's left of my car where I live? I don't.
Thank you for that question and your comments, sir. This is a problem in the park where the means of entering and exit the unit are not code and pose a danger. And that's very concerning, because we want to make sure people can safely get in and out of their units, especially in the event of an emergency. For that reason, we have identified stairways and it's needing to be in compliance. We have also identified the importance of making sure you have secondary access. So if you can't get out the main door, you have another means of exit. Because your ability to exit in an emergency is so critical to your health and safety, we, in the county's view, fixing those problems are more important than maintaining a private parking space for a vehicle. We will do our best to try and figure solutions that will allow you to maintain a parking space. But if at the end of the day, there is not enough room, the installation of safe stairs so you can safely exit your unit will take priority over preserving a parking space.
I can't tell you how, at my age, how disappointing that is. I'm going to have to make sure I've got enough canes to get me out to the street where I can get to my car to go shopping. Thank you, though.
Sure. So I'm really happy that you're touching upon this, okay? So one of my neighbors had to go home. She's an elderly person, she wasn't feeling it. In the past 2 weeks, we've had 2 residents have to go to the emergency room due to the stress of this, okay? This particular resident got so stressed She took money for other resources to have another person come in to install stairs. Because apparently one of her code violations was because of her storage unit. I am telling you, her space is more dangerous now than before. Because she lost her steps that were connected to her storage unit with the fence that looked perfectly fine to me, only because her storage unit wasn't 3 feet from the fence. Okay. So I go to see her. She has no stairs now. So I tell her, if there's an emergency and your other exit, you're not able to get out of there, and your other exit has no stairs, you're an elderly person, how are you going to get out? In that time, you're thinking about getting out. You're not going to remember you no longer have stairs. The following week, I went to go visit her. She has stairs. But the way these stairs were built are very dangerous. She has her pedestal that comes out of her storage, out of her trailer. And then they put pieces of wood to make it higher for her to step down. I'm going to share with you, when I moved in the park, I was only there a month and a half, okay? I have loose gravel, and I slipped and fell. And the metal from my stairs ripped through my arm. I have a permanent scar, okay? Here is my skin hanging from going through that metal. Now imagine an elderly person without the proper stairs coming out. In my opinion, the stairs that she had before, with a part that she can hold coming down, she doesn't have that anymore. She has to step down on pieces of wood with no handrail. So I'm glad that you touched upon it, because you guys need to go out there and check on this, because I'm really concerned for her, okay? If she had a fall like me, she's not going to get back up like I did. And that's a problem. So instead of addressing an issue and making it safer, this violation made it more unsafe for her than where she was before. And she's been living there for over 30 years.
Thank you, Mary. I think your comments underscore the importance of safe stairs, and so we're in agreement there. Stairs have specific code requirements regarding the height, the rise, the provision of handrails. And so if this tenant's repairs were not done to code, we will make sure that that is fixed and that she will have a safe means of exiting her unit.
Yeah, I'm really worried about her calling.
I understood. Other questions, comments? Please. If you stand here, they can hear you on Zoom.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Silva y nosotros también vivimos en Sequoia Garden Park. Ahorita
Hello, my name is Maria Silva and I also live in Sequoia Trailer Park.
por 12 años.
I've been living there for 12 years.
Y yo nunca supe que el condado tenía algo que ver con Sequoia Garden Park.
And I never knew that the county had anything to do with Sequoia Trailer Park.
Pero hace 2 años,
But 2 years ago,
en el patio de mi casa, no, muy cerca está entre la orilla de la calle y la casa, entrando a la casa.
my backyard is very close to the exit.
Yeah. Había un sistema de agua corriendo y siempre estaba un espacio
There was a water system running through there, and there was always a space.
Ya, nosotros le decimos alfaque, yo no sé cómo le digan. Ya. Y yo venía de mi trabajo.
I was coming from my job.
Ya, venía de mi trabajo llegando.
I was coming back from work.
Ya. Y me doblé mi pie.
And I twisted my ankle.
Ya, me lo quebré.
And I broke it.
Antes de entrar a mi casa.
Before entering my home.
Quise hablar con la manager.
I wanted to talk to the manager
para ver si podía arreglar.
To see if she could fix it.
Y no me dejó ni siquiera saludarla.
And she didn't even let me say hi to her.
Dijo, no quiero a nadie aquí ahorita.
And she said, no, I don't want anyone here right now.
Y tuve que irme de regreso a mi casa.
And I had to go back home.
Mi esposo hizo una como rampa.
My husband built a ramp.
Nomás era para unos días mientras yo me aliviaba del pie.
And it was temporary. And then while I was recovering from my foot injury.
Por 3 meses sin trabajar.
And I was for 3 months without work, not working for 3 months.
Y ella no permitió la rampa.
And she did not allow the ramp.
Dijo, tienes que quitarla de inmediato.
She said, you need to remove it immediately.
Y fue bien difícil para mí.
It was very difficult for me.
Porque estaba sola.
Because I was all by myself.
Mi esposo tenía que trabajar y yo solita pasaba en mi casa.
My husband had to work and I was all by myself at home.
Y ese fue el trato que recibimos en Sequoia Trailer Park.
And that was the way we were treated at Sequoia Trailer Park.
Hoy vivimos en Bayshore.
Now we moved and we live in Bayshore.
Sí. Estamos aquí para ayudar a todos los residentes que todavía viven en Sequoia Trailer Park.
And we are here in support of all the residents that still live at Sequoia Trailer Park.
Yo soy de El Salvador.
I am from El Salvador.
Tengo 17 años aquí.
And I've been living in this country for 17 years.
Yeah. En El Salvador siempre trabajé para la organización para ayudar a todas las personas que son abusadas psicológicamente.
And in El Salvador, I always work organizing people that have been abused psychologically.
Pero aquí nunca supe dónde ir.
But here I never knew where to go to.
Sí. Hasta hoy que por doña Esther me di cuenta de las personas que están ayudando a Sequoia Trailer Park. Decidí unirme a ellos.
It was until now that I talked to Miss Esther that I knew about the people that are helping Sequoia Trailer Park residents, and I decided to join them.
Porque como dijo mi mamá, una sola golondrina no hace verano.
Because like my mom said, one single bird cannot build a nest.
Yeah. Tenemos que estar unidos todos.
We need to be united together.
Para que ustedes nos puedan escuchar.
So that you could listen to us.
Siempre y cuando con educación y obedeciendo también lo que ustedes quieren de nosotros.
Of course, with respect and complying with what you want from us.
Gracias.
Thank you.
I think that was another story of injury caused by inadequate stairs. The fact that management got in the way of fixing that problem is certainly very concerning. And I want you to know that if you are taking the actions necessary to make the repairs as directed by the county, and you run into trouble with management not allowing you or interfering with repairs that have been directed, please contact me. And if you could, Janice, my assistant, you have her number. I will take action to get in contact with park management to help address any such problem. More questions?
Yo nomás tengo otro comentario.
I just have one additional comment.
Cuando comentaste que querías saber hace cuánto tiempo se ha hecho una reparación.
When you inquire about how long ago we made a repair, I have a question.
Cuando comentaste que no tienen idea de cuánto tiempo ha hecho una reparación en parqueadero.
When you said that you didn't know how long ago the parking space has been repaired,
Ajá, perfecto.
has been repaired.
Máximo. O sea, la pregunta es, cuando tú comentaste que no sabías hace cuánto tiempo atrás el parqueadero había hecho una reparación, yo te puedo dar una idea.
When you mentioned about that you didn't know how long ago the management had made repairs in the trailer park, I can give you an idea of how long it has been.
Tengo desde el 96 viviendo en Sequoia Trailer Park.
I've been living in Sequoia Trailer Park since 1996.
It's more than 20 years. Y nunca he visto que hagan una reparación de plomería, de agua, de electricidad, de pavimento, del piso.
I've never seen them, and this 20 years, I've never seen them do a repair, a plumbing repair, electrical repair, paint repair, sewer repair, any kind of repair.
La electricidad de los postes que corren en la luz, todos los cables están a corta distancia.
The electricity, the electrical pole, the cables are a short distance.
No pueden entrar camiones grandes como el de la basura. Cuando entran de la basura, no pueden entrar porque se llevan los cables de arriba.
They're very low. The cables are located very low in the poles. So whenever the garbage trucks try to come in, they cannot because they would take them away.
Los parqueaderos en piso, la mayoría, yo también tengo grava en mi parqueadero.
And the parking spaces, I also have gravel in my parking space.
Lo que yo hice es que cuando llueve, yo tengo unos tapetes para que no haga lodo ni haga tierra y no tener algún accidente cuando salga de mi vehículo.
What I've done is that I install some carpets on top so that when I get out, I don't have any accident myself or my vehicle.
Y al entrar a mi casa, tengo un pasillo de ladrillos para poder entrar a mi casa en tiempos de agua, porque como está inundado, no puedo pasar.
And in order for me to get into my house, I had to build with bricks on the a space of bricks on the floor that is raised because it is so flooded that I cannot get into my house when it rains.
Entonces pienso que puedes darte una idea que el parqueadero tiene más de 25 años sin ninguna reparación de plomería, eléctrico, agua, de nada.
So this is just to give you an idea that since 1996 there has not been any repairs done in this sewer system, electrical, water, plumbing, anything.
Ahorita la plomería de agua que tenemos no sé si sea yo la conozco como de metal, de fierro.
The plumbing system that we have, I think it is made out of iron.
Entonces, cuando uno lava los trastes, estás lavando los trastes, te estás bañando o estás usando agua en el área de la lavadora, todo el agua viene contaminada prácticamente. Trae plomo, sale agua amarilla, sale tierra ya de la plomería de agua.
So when we're doing the dishes, when we're taking a shower, when we are washing in the laundromat, the water that comes out is very contaminated. Sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's brown, it's very dark.
Eso era todo lo que nosotros nos comentaron para una idea de cuánto no han arreglado el parqueadero.
To give you an idea, since when the trailer park has not had any repairs.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. Yes, we understand the need to address these infrastructure problems. And as I said earlier, we intend to hold the park management accountable. The electrical lines too low for the garbage trucks, we have identified that as a necessary correction for them to make, among others. So thank you for that information.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nelson. I'm from Space 130. I think you're the guy I've been looking for. I bet I've been in your office more a couple of times for you. Unfortunately, I did not find it. I'm gonna do two comments. Lo primero que digo, muchachos, a él, a somebody told me, he's going to has to move it. That's funny because the inspector came to my space, él vino a mi espacio, and my name is about 7 years ago, I think, more straight to the third part. Creo que se movió hace como 7 años. Y cuando él vino, puso su trailer justo en la línea, right in the line, para tener más espacio para cualquier su auto. Entonces yo le dije al inspector, podemos mover esto porque él tiene una ventana, su ventana está sobre mi espacio. Y cuando dije eso, el inspector dijo, no,
Inspector said,
no podemos mover el trailer.
we cannot move the trailer.
Ese es un comentario. Y a él dijeron que la tiene que mover y en mi caso dijo que no la puede mover.
Yeah, you can. But in my case, they told me you cannot move.
So, second thing, la segunda cosa.
Now the second point.
Ahora que estamos en esta situación, yo he vivido por más de 20 años en el Sequoia Park.
More than 20 years in the park.
Y nunca me permitieron tocar nada en la trailer.
To touch anything at all.
So now creo que es el momento para repararla.
Now it's the time to repair.
And I thought, oh, I'll do una cosa, the right way to do it. Pero lo que pasó fue que el inspector me dijo que lo hiciera legal.
But now the inspector came over and said, oh, you have to do it the legal way.
Por eso fue que estuve en su oficina.
And that's why I was at your office.
Y me dieron una lista de cosas que hacer, legales.
And they gave me a list of things, legal things that I had to take care of.
Ya, solo para cambiar mi ventana.
And that was just to change a window.
Una ventana que tiene más de 20 años, no eficiente y muy mala.
This is a window that is very old, 20 years, and it's not efficient. No es eficiente.
Yeah,
and it
too bad.
is generally bad.
Y para eso me dieron una aplicación.
They gave me an application.
Que tiene que tener una compañía con licencia.
And you need to have a company with license company.
Workers' insurance.
Compensación de trabajo.
Y todo lo que requiere para cambiar una ventana en mi trailer.
And everything that I have to do just to change a window.
Creo que eso es demasiado. Creo que muchos queremos reparar nuestros trailers, todos lo queremos hacer
Way
bien.
too much. Just to repair myself and trailer.
Y si ustedes nos ayudan a hacer estas reparaciones legales,
Guys want to help us to make these, to fix legally all these things.
sin todos estos obstáculos,
Without all these obstacles,
will be great for us. Va a ser fantástico para todos
It would
nosotros.
be fantastic for all of us.
Y fui a su oficina porque me dijeron que ahí podía encontrar las aplicaciones y la forma correcta para hacer eso.
And I went to your office because they told me that I could find the right applications and everything I needed at your office.
Y de allí me mandaron para el building department porque no era él.
And then I went to the building department because it was not,
Thank you, sir. I want to make sure I understand your comment, and I think I do. I think you came to the office to find out what to do to fix, to make the necessary corrections. And you probably went to somebody at the front desk who may not be familiar with the program that we are moving forward. And so everyone should know that to make the corrections required by our correction notices, the county is not requiring you to fill out a permit application. If you complete the application as directed by the inspector, you do not have to come in to our office and apply for permits. So you received incorrect information. I'm sorry, and I will make sure that the staff is aware that the corrections in the trail department need to be coordinated with the inspectors, but no permits required.
Yo solo tengo una pregunta. Para las personas que no van a esos trailers,
for all the people that are not going to be able to move the trailers.
ustedes van a proveer algún documento
Are you
legal
going to provide
que puedan proteger
any legal document to get protected or to be
contra
protected
evidence
against evidence?
or harassment?
Oh, we have
So
to
if you want-
translate to English.
Oh, here is it. Okay, are you guys going to provide any legal documents
What
to
was my
protect the people that are not going to be able to move their trailers against evidence management? Because they don't come after them to, well, you have to move it. I told a lot of people already, if they can understand, you have to wait until you're told to move your trailer by the county, not evidence management. And a lot of people who are so strict, they're not doing it, and that's where now they have the problem of, like the guy that called, not being able to get out because he cannot put a landing. Okay, now he has a problem with his steps. He's an older, I don't know, he's a personal friend. That's what he was saying, because now he cannot put the steps there, he needs to put it there, and not get the work as hard. So, my question is, a legal document or any document that you guys can provide to the people that are not going to be able to move the trailers.
I think the best we can offer in terms of your concerns about dealing with the legal issues raised by park management if they try and make you move is to talk to legal aid. Our office of the county council is assisting the team with trying to prevent park management from moving forward with making people move unmovable trailers or threatening eviction. But we have limited ability to prevent that. And if they move forward despite our direction, we recommend that you speak to legal aid.
If I could just add one thing to that. I appreciate the specific concerns about specific units that are raised tonight and specific experiences with park management. I agree with what Steve just said in connection with our ability to affect the landlord-tenant relationship. However, if there is some reason that you are not complying with the notice of correction and you believe that park management is preventing you from complying with that, we urge you to call us and let us know. Again, our intent is not to just start enforcing on people. If you are trying to comply, but something out of your control is preventing you, please let us know. These community meetings are helpful times for you to share your concerns, but also if you have a specific issue with your unit, we would love to hear from you, because then our inspectors will be able to understand that when they go and inspect your unit. Similarly, and I believe unfortunately the gentleman, oh no, he looks like he's still online with the stairs. If there are specific issues that just seem unique to your unit and are creating a really, really difficult situation, please reach out to us individually. We can have a longer discussion. At this point, our inspectors are more familiar with your units. We do not want to put someone in a jam. We are trying to make your units safe, and certainly stairs are an important component of safety, but we would like to have that more specific conversation with you about the features of your unit. So again, you're welcome to share concerns at a meeting like this, but also sometimes individual conversations can be very effective ways of addressing this particular circumstances and limitations or whatever they might be that you're experiencing with your unit. Thank you.
We're going to be closing up. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I want to thank the county for coming out and speaking to us. I'm really hoping that the next time we meet that you have more answers for us and that this program is up and running. We need a clear process to get violations canceled in writing when they are not possible, unsafe, or unnecessary. We need a guarantee that the financial assistance repair program will be executed and resolve the infractions. We need to know that the list of what the management is responsible for fixing, including the sewer, line leaks, flooding, pavement and drainage, and the electrical system. So I really look forward to us meeting again and that this program is up and running and we're getting the park up to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And for those of you who have an opportunity to read our reply to the petition, I think we've addressed many of the issues Mary's bringing up. And if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out. So thank you to everyone for paying. Any closing comments? No? Okay. Thanks again, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Good night.